What's up, guys? It's Rip City Rundown, and given the fact that we are in the dead of the offseason, I'm going to talk about a topic that has just kind of been on my mind over the last couple of weeks, couple of months, as I've seen it on social media, and I just wanted to give my thoughts and bring it to this channel and see what you guys thought about it. And it's how the perception of Damian Lillard has changed over the last couple of months, if probably over the last year, ever since he kind of somewhat requested a trade from Portland back in July of 2021, and then he said he didn't, and then just all the rumors of Damian Lillard leaving started after that Denver series loss. And it's just like the NBA fan is so confusing to me, the average NBA fan. And I know there's a lot of trolls everywhere on social media. You don't see that the most knowledgeable NBA fan doesn't necessarily always put their thoughts on social media, but it still just gets to me and it confuses me on what NBA fans want. And that's where I'll start. You see Kevin Durant leaves the Golden State Warriors in 2016 and all hell breaks loose. Everyone hates him. Everyone tells him he's taking the easy way out. He needs to grind back in OKC and win with the team that drafted him. And then Damian Lillard stays in Portland, and the NBA fan, or the average NBA fan, is like, oh, Dame's taking the easy way out. Oh, he just doesn't want to win. How is Dame staying in Portland? He's such a bum for staying and keeping the grind. And it just really doesn't make sense to me, because you see a guy that is the most loyal player in the NBA, and that is a fact. He is the most loyal player in the NBA. You see guys like Dirk stayed his whole career with Dallas. You're seeing Giannis staying with Milwaukee right now. But they have a reason to stay. Dame has not been given an all-star to ever play with in his career other than LaMarcus Aldridge. And I'm not even sure LaMarcus Aldridge was an all-star in the time he played with Damian Lillard. So, and you see these memes made about Damian Lillard. You see these, I'm going to put some on the screen, like running from the grind, or, oh, I'm staying with the grind. You see all these memes of Damian Lillard, and yes, they're meant to be funny. And some of them are kind of funny. But it also just doesn't make sense. Because if Kevin Durant didn't stay, and he gets a bunch of hate, why is Damian Lillard, like, I get Kevin Durant's kind of a different example, but the most loyal player should be praised, not made fun of, not hated. Because at this point, people are not liking Dame. They're like, oh, Dame is such a bum for taking the money and not going and trying to win. Oh, Dame just doesn't even want to win because he's staying in Portland. Like J.R. Smith. I'll put the quote on the screen right now. He said, I love Dame. I love his game. I respect him for doing what he's doing. But at the same time, it's like, are you just going to rot in Portland, bro? You are unbelievable. And I didn't listen to this interview, so I don't know what Tony said it at. But when I see someone say, you are unbelievable, my assumption is that he's disappointed in Damian Lillard. He thinks Damian Lillard is taking the easy way out by staying in Portland, because everyone's saying Dame has an excuse for not winning by staying in Portland, so he'll never be docked. If he actually went to a team that was winning and didn't win, then his legacy could be tarnished instead of staying in Portland, where he's obviously not going to win. But what I say to that is, I could probably find a quote by J.R. Smith clowning Kevin Durant for leaving the Golden State Warriors, or leaving the OKC's Thunder. Probably clowning LeBron James for leaving the Cavs for the Heat. Like, the NBA fan doesn't know what they want. And I guess that's what makes the NBA so entertaining, but at the same time, it's so annoying. Like, everyone comments about Damian Lillard. Everyone. And if I could find comments, I'll put them on the screen. I don't know if I'll be able to find them, given they're just from posts a while ago. And that gets me into another thing. The average NBA fan thinks all Damian Lillard does is talk about running from or staying in the grind. And it's like I said, it's become a meme, because these high-profile Instagram and Twitter pages like Bleacher Report, SportsCenter, and all those things, they always repost these quotes every 4 months saying Dame isn't running from the grind, and show that quote he said that one time from the time when he was clowning Pat Bev and Paul George in the comments. Or the time when he's been told, does he want to leave Portland? And he says, no, because I think I can win a championship here and I want to win it the hard way and it would be more fulfilling. He doesn't say that every 4 months. He said it 1 or 2 times, and NBA reporters always ask him these questions. So what is he going to say? No comment? What do you want him to say? If the NBA reporter always asks these questions, then Dame's always going to answer it the same way. And everyone thinks that's all he talks about, when in reality, the NBA reporter and the average reporter and the average fan is egging it on. It's really not that big of a deal, but it is just annoying as a Blazer fan. And I think it all started when Dame said in those comments to Pat Bev and Paul George that they were kept switching and running from the grind and that they're chumps. And in my opinion, that is one of the greatest and most legendary comebacks of all time in just the social media world, because it actually shut him up. It was the year after Dame sent freaking Paul George home, and then 4 years earlier, 10 years, whatever, how many years earlier in 2014, he sent Pat Bev home on the Rockets. He sent both of those players home with series-ending buzzer beaters, and these guys think they have the right to go and talk crap about him when they have never won a championship themselves and they've switched teams and tried to form super teams. Pat Bev has gone to the Thunder. He's gone, or excuse me, not the Thunder. He's gone to the Rockets, tried to win with them when they had Harden. He's tried to go to the freaking Timberwolves when they had Cat. I'm not saying they were going to win a championship or anything. He's gone to the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George, and then obviously Paul George has tried to make his fair share of super teams. So, with all that being said, I think Damian Lillard is the most loyal player in the league. I think he has no reason to leave Portland. And another thing that I want to say that people don't understand is guys have lives. Like, we looked at CJ McCollum's article in the Player Tribune, or maybe it was in The Athletic. Like, he didn't want to leave Portland. Not because he didn't think he could win in Portland, or not because he thought he could win in Portland, but because he has an actual life there. He's got a family he wants to raise. He's lived there his whole career. Like, most people doing their average job wouldn't want to just get up and move to a different location just because it would give them better status among the public world. I mean, maybe people do that, but in my opinion, I'm going to just stay in the place that makes me the happiest the most. And if Dame's the most happy in Portland, which obviously he is by all he said, then he doesn't need to leave at all. Not many people play their whole career in one spot. And in my opinion, instead of selling out for a championship and going to try to get that one championship on the Lakers or on the Knicks or on the Heat or on the Celtics, all these big time names where you're not going to be an all-time great if you just win one championship, I'd rather battle in the city that's never won a championship since 1977. And if I don't win a championship, yes, that sucks, but so be it. I'm one of the greatest players of all time in this organization. I've played in an organization that I enjoy, and I've lived in a spot that I want to live. So that's just the final thing I'll say about that. Comment down below what you think. It's just something I wanted to get off my chest. I think it's something that's not necessarily important to talk about, but in my opinion it is, because I think it's a big deal for a player to stay this long in an organization. And for just suddenly he go from the most underrated player in the NBA and the most loved player in the NBA to not necessarily most hated or most overrated, but to a guy that has these haters and has these people saying bad things about him when I don't think he deserves it at all. Of any player in the NBA, he deserves the least of it. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe. Go follow all the social medias. They will be down in the description below. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.